G'day and welcome to A Down Under Yarn. I am your host Fiona, also known as Fifykins. If you find someone on the internet called Fifykins, it would be me. This is episode number 54 of A Down Under Yarn. I'm also the dyer behind Solar Flare Fibres. Now there are Ravelry groups for both of these, Solar Flare Fibres and A Down Under Yarn, so please feel free to come over and join both of them. Today is Thursday the 9th of January. It's about 10 past 4 and I am a day late. I've just had one of those weeks. I was trying to reflect on what I've been doing this week and didn't get very far. I had a really bad migraine on Friday. I get migraines from time to time, and sometimes they come in clumps, sometimes they stay away. Last year I think I looked back at my diary because I keep a diary note of whenever I've had them to see if there's any pattern, and we've never been able to find a pattern, never been able to work out a dietary trigger or anything like that. Anyway, Friday I came down with one and it laid me low most of Friday and quite a bit of Saturday as well. I felt really bad Saturday morning, just, the fuzzy head you get after a migraine. Plus the weekend, it's the hottest I have known it in Cairns. It was so hot. I know that the weather app on that Insta Weather, I think whatever the app is that I use, was probably wrong, but it was trying to tell me it felt like it was 68. Well, it actually did feel like it was 68. It felt like it was disgustingly hot. And not only was it hot, it was humid as well, and the humidity was just, just looking up now, trying to see what Insta Weather is telling me what it is at the moment. It's checking the weather for me, and it's going to tell me it's finishing up, it's thinking about it. 33 degrees, but that's not the one I usually go for, because I haven't opened it in a couple of days. There we are. 33 feels like 45. Don't know about that today. Humidity of 71%. Humidity is right up there. Yeah, and I think what they do, they've got an algorithm which is out because it factors in the humidity with what it feels like. Today's nowhere near as bad as it has been. I look at the images I see coming in from the US of the polar vortex storm, and I just can't comprehend it. It's beyond my life experiences. People talk about shoveling snow, and I'm like, okay, and it's just not something I can comprehend. It's something I really want to experience, though. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Says she's sitting here in her spaghetti string top today because she's trying to keep cool. I've then been trying to get out the clubs, finally the December clubs. Now Australia, everyone says to me, Australia shuts down between Christmas and New Year, usually until the first week of January. Oh man, I suppose you just have to accept it for what it is, but it is very frustrating when you're trying to run a business. I organise a little extra in the club each month, and I organised something and well before Christmas, and expected in the Christmas rush it was going to be a bit late, and I thought it's okay, we have to get the stuff out between Christmas and New Year, so I had the yarns dyed up and didn't show up, so I rang up just before New Year, and got the message, no, we're closed until 2nd of January. So I rang on the 2nd thinking, and got told, I'll have to check with Australia Post. But by the time I just gave up in the end, and I've said to them, look, if it gets here, thank you, I'll use it for next club. It's just frustrating. The people I buy my dye from are closed from the 23rd of January to the 23rd of December to the 29th, I think it is, of January, after Australia Day. And I'm like, this is one of the major companies. I know they've been advertising they've been going to do that. I know that. I thought, okay. So I found another company that sells the dyes that I use. Ordered from them, and I ordered that last Friday. Got an email today. Sorry, I've been out of the office. Oh, we don't stock the 250 gram tubs anymore. I can actually give you 2 100 gram tubs. And I'm thinking, yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. And so I just said, look, thank you. She said, oh, else I can refund you. And I said, look, thank you. I've gone on to someone else who does sell the 100 gram tubs a bit cheaper, and she's been lovely. But it's very frustrating. Very frustrating when you're trying to run a business and you're relying on other people. I don't actually need the dyes as such. There's a couple one of them which I'm out of, which I use in a couple of dyes, which I'm just not dyeing up those colours at the moment. But it's very frustrating. Anyway, and then on top of that, it's a club this month that needs to be rescanned. the way it's dyed. It definitely needs to be rescanned to show its true beauty. And I ordered a rescanner in early December from a lovely chap in New Zealand who says, no, it's fine, it'll be out to you by the end of the week. He says you should have it early in the new year. You should have it either just before Christmas or just after Christmas. And I thought, well, with the mail and that, it's still not here. So I've been rescanning it all by hand. So I've got sore shoulders, but, you know, getting the muscles in there, so that's good. I've been trying to spend a bit of time in the evenings with Mimmel, which has been really lovely, with the kids away. But the kids got back today, and they're just as lovely, and catching up with them. Imogen is having her wisdom teeth out tomorrow, so she's a little bit apprehensive about that, I think. She's come back and told me how tired she is. And I said, well, you'll be sleeping for an hour at least tomorrow, and you'll be sleeping afterwards. So that's that. Now, let's get on to some administratia. We had the Pottiversary draw. When I recorded the Pottiversary episode a couple of weeks ago, it was out at Crystal Cascades, which I said was one of my favourite spots. And I've asked you all to tell me your favourite spots. And I've received some really, really lovely responses. So we have 57, I'm double checking the number this week, 57 entries. So I have entered generate a random number. Where's my window there? From 2 to 57. I'm going to click generate. Number 23, which will be on the first page. Down the bottom. And that is Lucky Dog. Lucky Dog likes Tasmania. Hubby and I spent a couple of weeks there riding bikes around the island a few years ago, and we decided that if ever we win the lottery, we're moving there. I don't blame you. I've been to Tassie a couple of times and just love it. That's Gail. And Gail is a former librarian, which is nice. And she's from near Philio in Pennsylvania, which is just fantastic. So Lucky Dog Gail, who has the most gorgeous dogs, I must admit. I love going through people's pages. I feel like I'm stalking them at times. Let's get away from that. Whoops, sorry. Just a ribbon. Yeah, whenever I get a friend request, I always make sure I go through and have a look at a couple of their projects and what's in their queue and what's in their favourites, what's in their stash, and yeah, which is a bit of fun. Of course, the other thing I will mention is the poppies, and I'm getting onto poppies soonish. But there's information in the show notes about poppies if you'd like to craft some poppies, knit or crochet them for the 100th anniversary of Anzac Day. I don't have any FOs this week. Let's get on to the knitting. Gradually move over. No FOs. I have done a bit of work on my low tide cardigan. This is a Tin Can Knits pattern. Here's me with my bag, I've got my headphones in there, I've got my spare needles. Tin Can Knits pattern by Emily Wessel. I am using Woolmizer Pure in the Aquarius colourway. There's that one there. It's a little bit greener than what it's showing there, but I'll take a photo of it at some stage. I had knit, I think, 1 and a bit panels last week, so I finished the front panels. I finished the back panel. I've locked the panels, and then I have picked up stitches and started knitting down. Then I've picked up stitches and done one sleeve. It was my first time doing a short row sleeve. Some of my wrap and turns are not right at the back there, but I'm not too bothered about it. The only thing I am bothered about is I bound off using a Knit 2 Together bind off, and I don't think it's stretchy enough to go over my huge footabouters. So I'm probably going to have to pick that out and redo it, which is a tad frustrating, but at the same time, oh well. And no, I didn't actually weave in the end. Did I leave much of an end? No, not really. So I think I will probably end up doing that, because at the moment it's just that wee bit too tight. I think I have to knit 14 inches for my size. I'll see how I go, see where I get to. I've done 2.5, 3 inches, I think, there. I think I said it was about 2.5 inches. I can't remember now. It's quite mindless now that I'm in the stockinette portion, where you just have a bit of a garter border at the front there, and then compensate for that elsewhere in the pattern. I am enjoying it though, I really am, and it's nice to sit down Mimmel and I have been trying to catch up on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. this week, which is a new to us TV show. And I've been able to sit and do that, although I've been so busy trying to reskein this yarn as well. If you can hear that banging, I just gave Ninja a big marrow bone, and she just thinks it's Christmas all over again. And she's just gnawing at it. She's just beside herself. So that's always nice. That, I think, is the only thing I've really been working on. I can't find my watermelon sock that I've been working on, and it's really bothering me. I've got so much clutter around at the moment, though, that I suspect it will be here somewhere, or else it might be in the car somewhere. I've tried to go through the car a bit, but the car is just... Anyway, so that's that. I haven't actually done any spinning either. I've been following the lead up to the Ravelini Games. I am not going to have a team for solar flare fibres. I thought about it, then thought no. If there is an Australian team, I will donate a prize for that. I think I have reservations isn't the right word. I am disappointed in the Russian government's stance on some human rights issues. And I look at it, though, that the whole idea behind the Olympics is getting together through sport and getting together and being able to participate. And I understand all that, and I know that so many Olympics before this have had lots of human rights issues. And you look at Beijing, you look at Berlin in the 30s, look at all these things, look at the Moscow Olympics, which Australia still sent athletes to, even though a whole lot of other countries didn't. I'm going to do a Ravelinics project myself, and I am wanting to take part, but at the same time I'm also wanting to acknowledge how difficult it can be for gay and lesbian people in Russia. So that's something that I've been trying to work through myself, and I know a lot of people have been on the Ravelry board. I've been sort of watching from a distance a bit. So that's just that. So there's not going to be a Solar Flare Fibres or a Down Under Yarn team for the Ravelinics, but I know that the LSG group on Ravelry is also doing their spin-off of the Ravelinics as well. So that is that. Acquisitions. On the 12th day of Christmas, my postie gave to me my beautiful little ornament. This is from Megan at the Stockinette Zombies. We did an ornament swap. I sent her a koala ball, and she knit me a mini Measure in Love hat. I'm just trying to get it in there. There it is. This is just beautiful. It was knit on size 40s, which, hello? Might as well have used guitar strings or cello strings or something, but it is just so beautiful. And whilst the Christmas tree, it's being packed away this afternoon, I understand. The kids are home and I've said that's their job to pack it away. I am actually going to keep this and hang it on the end of one of the curtain rods in my bedroom, because I really, really, really like it. The other thing that arrived Monday was a yarn club from Yarn vs Zombies. This is the Downton Abbey Tea and Downton Club. Had some most beautiful tea with it as well. Oh, really, really gorgeous. This is a new base from Kiki, and it is the Whiskers base, which is 70% superwash merino, 30% silk, 100 grams for 38 yards. It's the sitting room colourway. Now, isn't that just spectacular? That is just so beautiful. All the different colours just blended together. This will definitely be a shawl. It's a single yarn, and you can see the little charm that Kiki hung on there. So, which I probably might make a stitch marker out of that. I don't know. Anyway, really, really, really love this. So, yeah. I'm thinking, I'm just smelling it because I'll get to that when I get to the show update. Anyway, it smells very nice. It smells like soap. It smells very nice. Yeah, so really, really pleased with this. I'm not sure what it will become, but it will definitely become something. I don't think it'll be stashed for that long. So, as I say this week, Imogen's having her wisdom teeth out tomorrow. I have bad memories of when I had my wisdom teeth out because it was my first general anaesthetic and I reacted to it by vomiting. And if you can imagine, someone who's just had their wisdom teeth out, when they can't actually move their jaw, I could do it like that and here's me vomiting. It was one of the most vile experiences. I still have bad memories of it. I've been trying not to tell her about it. Anyway. And also school goes back in 3 weeks. 3 weeks, I think. So getting school readiness stuff. So we're probably going to pop out to school to get exercise books and things. If they want to cover their books this year, they can cover their books. My days of using contact are long behind me. Gave that up a long time ago. Their textbooks, they have a textbook scheme at school where we pay a couple $100 at the start of the year and they get all their textbooks and they hand them back at the end of the year. I'm fine with that. Doesn't bother me. Exercise books, if they want to cover them, they can cover them. Moving on to the shop stuff now. This is a short episode, and I knew it was going to be short because I really only had the low tide to show you. You know. Moving on to shop stuff, and if you are leaving, goodbye, but you might want to stay because I have 2 new bases to show you. Now, first of all, I want to say thank you to everyone who said the lovely things about the newsletter. If you have not signed up for the Solar Flare Fibres newsletter, you should. I don't send them out all the time. I send them out hopefully every 2 to 3 weeks. That's what I'm sort of aiming for. And last week I had a thank you voucher in there for people. You can see the newsletter online if you'd like to see a copy of the voucher, and I would be fine if you did that. I know a lot of people have made use of their vouchers already, which is lovely, and you have until the 26th of January to do that. Now, just a heads up, the update this week will be on Saturday morning because of Imogen's surgery tomorrow. I'm not sure what time things are. I know we've got to be there at 8, and I know I update at 9:30, but if I'm in the middle of taking her through, and I don't want to have to be worrying about shop updates tomorrow. So it will be at 9:30 on Saturday morning, which means I've got to set my alarm on a Saturday morning, but that's okay. You're all worth it. So we have 2 new bases this week, and I thought this week, when I was dyeing, I thought to show off the 2 new bases, I dye the bases in the same colours. So you can sort of see the difference as well. So the 2 bases, one is the thicker version, the DK version. They're both DKs, these bases. One is the thicker version of a club base from November. That is the Zorya base. So I'm calling this one Zorya Thick. Zorya, Zorya, who is a Slovenic sun god, I believe. The good thing about this is it has 2 ends of merino, 1 end of superwash merino. So you get the most amazing, anyway, you can see it there. There we are, boa pole effect. This is the lavender colourway, which I think I did on lace, or I can't remember what I did this. I did this a few weeks ago, and a couple of people have commented on how nice it is. So this is, it's a very pale purple with little spots of pink through there as well. So this is a Zorya base. Zorya is 246 yards, 225 metres. I've got my notes here because I want to get this right. So 2 ends of superwash merino, 2 ends of merino, 1 end of superwash merino. So it's not really machine washable, but at the same time it's probably not feltable either. So it's handled with care, but yeah. And would make gorgeous mittens and hats, and just something that's a bit different with the boa pole effect in there. Different colourways show it differently. The other base is the Zihe base. Zihe, Xihe, who is a Chinese god. Now, if you're after some luxury, this is where you come. This is 55% superwash BFL, 45% silk. 232 yards or 212 metres per 100 grams. So this again is in the lavender, and Now, the reason I smell it, silk when it's wet would have to be one of the most top 10 disgusting smells in the world. It's pretty gross, but when it's dry and you've washed it out with your soap, it's very nice. So, yeah. Here it is in the lavender base. It's probably a little bit paler than that. There we go. That's sort of showing you the general colour of it there. So, I have the Zoya and the Zia in the lavender. You can see them there. I have now Pepper Pink, which is quite, it's almost reddy pink this week. And that's because of the intense sunlight we've been having, and it just, I think, takes up the dye exceptionally quickly. I am trying to get the yarns out earlier in the morning when the sunlight isn't as intense, to try and get some of the same effects that I usually get, but sometimes it's still, yeah. So this is Pepper Pink, but it's really almost a reddy pink this week. So there we are in the two bases. I have Hi Ho, which is the silvery grey. There we are, again in the two bases, and I haven't scanned these very well either. I just did them randomly before this. Then I have two new colours that I was playing around with. Now, first I'll show you the first one before I tell you the funny story. The way my brain works sometimes, I don't know. This is called Coral, and it's a beautiful corally orangey colour in the Zoya and the Zia base. See her. So yeah. So these, both of them are very soft bases. Of course, the silk one is exceptionally soft and exceptionally drapey as well. Whereas this is quite solid, that is a bit limp. And this would be great for shawls, garments, that sort of thing that you want a bit of flop on, perhaps, you know, a floppy hat. Whereas this, I think, would make beautiful mittens and cowls and things, yeah. In fact, both of them would. So that's that. Now, Colour Theory 101. If you get blue and you add yellow to it, you get green. If you get blue and you add red to it, you get purple. Now, what I have discovered, if you get blue and you add yellow and you've got green, and you add a touch of red, you get a beautiful greeny colour with a bit of a split sometimes in there, but it's usually green. Bozo here was doing the dye pots and was looking at the formula, and I've got it written down which order I put them in, and I saw the blue and I saw the red, and I saw blue and yellow and red, and I already had a syringe that I'd used for the red. So I thought, I'll put that in. So I put that one in first and added blue to it. So what do you think I got? Do you think I got green? No, I got beautiful purple. Then I added the yellow to it, and I have this beautiful new colourway. So this is called Plum. And it's a beautiful, beautiful plummy, purpley with spots of pale blue through there, as you can see, again on here. So yeah, so beautiful colourway, and it's interesting that I can now use the same dyes and get two different colours, but that's just how it works, and that's one of the joys and one of the exciting things about dyeing, I think, that I really like finding out about. I am starting over the weekend to dye for the Zombie Knit Apocalypse. It's a bit exciting. I have a project that I am liaising with a designer that we are hoping to put something out, not as a knit along before the Knitpocalypse, but as something perhaps after. And I think I'll just leave that teaser there, especially for those people going to the ZK. I am also going to be dyeing up a special colourway for the Zombie Knit Apocalypse, which I will offer pre-orders for those people who are going, who want to pick it up whilst they're there. I'm trying to work out a way as well for those people not going to the ZK who've been wanting to order, especially those people in America, a way that I can do some pre-orders say in May. I know it's only January, but I'm thinking ahead, and ship them from within the States. Now, I have to look at baggage allowance and what I can take and what I'm going to ship over beforehand and everything like that to make sure it is going to be feasible. It may end up that it's not going to be feasible for me to take pre-orders and take stuff over pre-packed and post it whilst I'm there. But we will see. I've got two 23 kilo bags. Now, that's in my luggage allowance. I've got a feeling I might have a bit extra. I've also got to be concerned that I've got people picking me up and I've got to fit stuff into their vehicles. I know I'm going to be sending over some yarn beforehand. I'm hoping to send over about 20 kilos maybe, and that will be, I'm hoping to ship that surface mail in early February so that I know that it will definitely get there. I'm hoping anyway. No, I'm getting a bit anxious about it, to be honest, because it's going to be my first big event vending it. I've spoken to some fantastic people who've given me some fantastic advice, which is really, really good, which I really appreciate. But I'm just, I don't want to take too much and end up having to bring so much home. But then again, I don't want to sell out within 10 minutes as well, if you know what I mean. So that's what that is. Anyway, I've babbled on enough, and you people have got lots of other things you need to get done in your life. The little kid across the road's got this cute little John Deere tractor, one of those electronic numbers, must have a little battery in it somewhere, and he's riding around on it. It's very, very cute. He's very sweet, the little kid across the road. But he hasn't seen me yet, which is good, because he then yell out, "Hey, what you doing?" Which is very cute. Anyway, I will leave you to it, and until next week, say uru, bye, cheers.